Hey everyone, this is Daniel from fitnessbow.com with another workout for you today. This time we're going to be doing an upper body focus routine that's going to be an interval style. So we're going to be doing 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, 4 different exercises, and we're going to be going through them 3 times each. So we also have a warm-up and a cool-down included. So this entire routine is a standalone, and you don't need any equipment for this whatsoever. This is all body weight driven. So let's go ahead and get started with that warm-up. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up. We're going to be starting off with a side step and arm circle. Just nice and easy, just stepping back and forth. We're going to do half, putting those arms coming forward, then half going backwards. So it's nice, even pace. Try to really focus on getting a nice big circle with those arms. And switch that direction, going back the opposite direction. Try to warm up that shoulder socket. Just keep those feet moving at the same time as well. Just a few more seconds to go. Then we've got a squatting push-pull. So feet just about shoulder width apart. You squat down, press out, stand up and pull back in. So work against yourself as hard as you can. Press out, pull back in. Nice slow motion. Try to get a nice full range of motion on that squat to warm up those hips, as well as really getting that blood flowing through those arms by really working against yourself as you push out and pull back in. Keep those lungs open, never hold your breath. Just keep it going a few more seconds. Now I've got torso circles, so feet same position. Bend straight forward, flat back, rotate to the left, lean back, down to the right, pause the bottom, and back around the opposite direction. So you should be warming up those hip sockets as well as getting into those hamstrings. Pausing the bottom each time. Just keep those lungs open. Now we're going to focus on that torso. So torso rotation, so you're going to be twisting left to right. As you twist, bring a knee up. Same thing the other side. Just nice slow motion. Pull that knee up as high as is comfortable each time. Rotate that torso as much as you can each time. A slow controlled motion, no quick jerking motions. Start working more and more range of motion in as you can as you start warming up. You're doing a lateral step now, so press over your head, squeeze down at the top, press over your head as you drop, squeeze down. So same thing with that squat, push-pull. You're going to be working against yourself with those arms. So press as hard as you can, then pull back down, constantly working against yourself. The further you step out to the side, the more of a stretch, the more you're gonna get those hips and legs warmed up. So go only as far as you can control. So we're doing an alternating lunge next. So alternate out, you're going to bring those hands over your head as you lunge, up, down to your sides, lunge overhead, and back down the side as you come up. Just alternating back and forth. Taking a really nice long step, step out as far as is comfortable. The further you step, the more stretch you're going to get, the more you're going to wake up those hip joints, the more you're going to wake up those legs. And go into a boxer shuffle. Start getting those calves warmed up a little bit more. Get that cardio up a little bit more. Should be starting to feel a little bit warm. Might even be getting a little tiny bit of a sweat going. At the very least, your core temperature should be much more elevated than it was just a second ago. Got just one more exercise to go after this one. One more warm-up exercise, that is. We'll be doing a front jack. Just a few more seconds. And start it up. So hands come together in front of your chest when those feet come together. And then out to the sides as those feet come apart. Just keep those lungs open. Keep moving nice and smooth. Keep those arms nice and rigid. Make sure you're not flailing your arms around over those legs. Almost done. Nice smooth motion, lungs open. And let it relax. All right, back to that boxer shuffle. We're going to be starting in to our first upper body exercise here in just a second. All right, let's go and get started with our main portion of this routine. Like I said, this is going to be all primarily upper body driven. You've got a lot of supporting muscle groups going to be going on with this because this is all body weight. So no extra weight for this one. You don't need anything. If you want a mat, you can put one down, but you probably won't be using it very much at all. So Let's go and get started. It's 45 seconds on, 15 seconds break, and we're just gonna be running straight through these 4 exercises, then starting back at the top, running through again 3 times total. So let me get my timer started here. Our first exercise is going to be a hovering push-up, so you're gonna drop out into a full push-up position, either on those knees or on those toes, whichever you can control the best. Hands nice and wide, drop down, shift left, shift right, back to center, back up, down, to the left, to the right, back to the center, and back up. So make sure you switch your directions as well, which one you start with. So alternate which arm you lean to first. Try to stay as close to the ground as you can each time. Keep those lungs open. Keep that back flat. Almost done. And back up, get those feet moving. All right, our next one is gonna be a supine push-up. I'm gonna be down on the ground for this one as well. This time facing up. 5 more seconds. Go ahead and drop down on the ground. Elbows out nice and wide. Press into those elbows. Lift yourself from those hips to those elbows. If you want the easier version, then you can go from that lower back and just lift from there. But try to lift all the way up from those hips. Again, if you want a little bit harder version, tuck those knees in over top of you. Adds a little extra weight to your upper body, and it keeps your legs from using those hip flexors to help. Keep those lungs open, elbows out nice and wide. They're going to start trying to creep down towards your sides. And back up, back into that boxer shuffle. Our next one is be a pike push-up. So from a pike position, dropping down towards those hands and back up, trying to keep a straight line from wrist to hip. So feet a little wider than shoulder width, hands a little wider than shoulder width. Nice flat back, drop down to the ground, tap that head. Right back up. If you want to make this one harder, then elevate those feet even more. So either put them up on a coffee table or in a chair. As long as the stable surface is not going to slide, that elevating those feet puts more weight into those arms, makes those shoulders have to do more of the work. Almost done. And back up. Those feet moving again. So our last one before we start over, we're doing a push-up walkout. So from a push-up position, walk those feet out or those hands out in front of you as far as you can and right back in. So start with those hands nice and close. Walk out just a few inches with each step of those hands. And then slowly walk them right back in. Just go out as far as you possibly can. If you can't go out more than just a few inches, that's perfectly fine. Just try to get a little bit further next time. So you should feel this quite a lot in those core muscles, but you should also feel it in those lats and the under part of that shoulder. All right, back up. Those feet moving. So round one done. Now we get to start back over again. That hover push-up. That upper body is going to be dead by the time we're done with this. Just keep that form as clean as you can. Remember to alternate which side you start towards. So start towards the left one time, and then towards the right the next. Whew. Man, that burns. So I'm going to drop down to a slightly easier version. And back up, get those feet moving. Got supine push-up coming up next. So laying flat on your back. 5 more seconds, go and drop down. Elbows out nice and wide, back flat. Lift up. Like I said, harder version is tucking those knees in closer. Keep those lungs open, don't hold your breath. Core nice and tight. Just keep it going, just go to that happy place. I know these are probably starting to burn like crazy. You might not have as much range of motion as I do, that's fine. Just push as hard as you can, even if you don't move. As long as you're contracting those muscles, that's fine. All right, back up. Pike push-up coming up next. 5 more seconds. And start it up. To try to engage those shoulders the most, try to make sure you keep a straight line through that torso into those arms. You don't want to be pushing here. You want to be trying to keep a straight line. Keep those lungs open. Take short breaks if you need to, just like I did. But try to get back into it as fast as possible. Alright, back up. Next one, push-up walkout. 5 more seconds. Hands nice and close. And start it up. Keep those lungs open. As you can tell, I'm getting more and more tired, so I'm not going down as low. That's fine. Just keep pushing out as far as you can go, under control. Back up. All right, that's the end of number 2. We have 1 more round to go. Starting back over with those hover push-ups. Keep those lungs open. Drop them down. Just as clean a form as you possibly can. I'm going to go ahead and start an easier version. Just keep those lungs open. Keep that back flat as best you can. Because we're giving such little rest here, and most of these exercises we're all using similar assisting muscle groups, those arms are going to be just ridiculously sore, ridiculously tired. Oh, 1 more. Back up. All right, supine push-up is next. Try to shake those arms out as best you can. 5 seconds. Down on your back. And start them up. Keep those lungs open. Try to keep a nice straight line from hip to shoulder. If you start getting too tired, you can always let that lower back round. Just lift from there. Just remember, this is our last round, so push through it as hard as you possibly can. Really punish those muscles. You want them to be sore tomorrow. All right, back up. Shake those arms out. We got pike push-up next. All right, 5 more seconds. Drop down into that pike. Nice straight line from wrist to hip. And press it out. If you just can't do any more repetitions in this position, you can always drop onto those knees, but it drastically decreases the amount of effort. So it would be better just to take longer rest breaks and do this version. Oh man, that burns. That just hurts like crazy. Couple more if you can. All right, get those feet moving again. Last exercise, those push-up walkouts. Keep those feet moving. Shake those arms out. Got under 5 seconds left. All right, start them up. I'm gonna try out those knees, make it a little easier for myself. Remember, just step out a few inches at a time with those hands. Now that I'm down on my knees, I can get a lot more range of motion out with those hands. Just keep it going. And let it relax. All right, get those feet moving again. Back that boxer shuffle. We're gonna come back and we're starting into that cool down in just a second. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our cool down. We're gonna be working through those upper body muscles because I'm sure, just like me, they're nice and tired and stiff. So we're gonna do a chest stretch first. So one hand back up against the wall, fingers facing back behind you, and then rotate away from that hand. You should feel it stretch to the front of that chest. If you're feeling it more in your bicep, then rotate that arm until you aren't. Just keep pressing as far as you can. As it starts to loosen up more, just keep pushing a little bit more into that range of motion. Hold a little bit longer. And same thing on the other side. So fingers facing back behind you, and rotate. So each one of these stretches I'm holding for 30 seconds. The only time you're going to want to hold a stretch for this long is this is the last routine you're doing for the day. If you hold stretches for this long right before you go into an actual routine, you can actually over loosen the joint and actually cause yourself to actually become in a more dangerous position as far as potential injury goes. So never hold your stretches for too long for a warm up. This is only for like corrective style stretching. So we're doing our back next. So you're trying to get that shoulder blade, you're going to grab across that elbow, pull across in front of your chest, bring it up as close to your neck as you can, and pull across in front of your body until you feel that stretch across that shoulder blade. Now, if you sit at a desk quite a lot, you might not feel this stretch very much because those shoulder blades are already going to be really, really stretched out from the typical shoulder roll that most people do while sitting at a desk. But try to stretch it as much as you can anyway. Switch sides, grab that elbow, pull across. Again, keep it up as close to your neck as you can, pulling it across in front of your body. You should feel it across the outside of that shoulder and that upper back. Just keep those lungs open. It's 10 more seconds. And with that relaxed, we're going to tricep stretch and bring that hand back to that same shoulder, grab that elbow, pull across, just get it back behind your head as far as is comfortable, trying to pull across and back. So trying to open up that shoulder socket as much as you can. Just 10 more seconds. Almost Almost done. And switch sides. That other hand comes up, reach back to that shoulder, grab that elbow, pull across. Lungs stay open, torso stays straight up and down. Again, trying to pull that elbow across and back simultaneously. Should feel this not only in that shoulder, inside of that shoulder joint, but also through that tricep. That's the main point we're trying to focus on, is trying to stretch that tricep out. Almost done. And let it relax. Next one, you're going to find an open wall. Both hands just about a little above shoulder height. Press that head and chest down towards the base of that wall, stretching those arms back behind you as much as you can. Nice big full deep breath. Just keep those lungs open. Go and switch sides real quick. Just keep that same position. And let that relax. The next one is going to be a torso stretch. So dropping down straight in front, you're rotating that torso just a little bit. Just nice and slow rotation while still trying to simultaneously touch those toes. I'm trying to stretch out those obliques as well as that lower back and those hamstrings. As you can see, I'm actually getting slightly lower down to the ground each time. And let it relax. We're going to focus on just those hamstrings. Last one, just regular toe touch, flat back, drop straight forward. Keeping that back perfectly flat is going to force those hamstrings to do all of the stretch here. So trying to get down towards those toes as far as you can without letting that back round. If you want to get a little bit different stretch, you can kick those feet out. It should feel a little bit different in that hamstring as well as in those calves. And let it relax. All right, that is the end of our warm-up, which means this workout is complete. Now you'll probably be nice and sore tomorrow for that upper body, so make sure you get a little extra stretch in tomorrow as well, and drink plenty of fluids. See you guys next time.